Hello, we are Team Dispersing and this is our presentation for Challenge 13, Project Resource Plan Controller.
So this is our team. We are Anna, Inez, Stephen, Molly, Jacob and Terai.
Here's the challenge summary. Our challenge was looking at the ability to manage resourcing. Highlighted here are the three main users of our solution, each of whom have their own business purpose for evaluating the resource data. Program managers need a high-level view of timings and project performance, enabling them to track project resources and any changes. This leads to improved quality of data and resource allocation. Resource planners need an overview of all projects to efficiently coordinate and manage clashes from across the entire project portfolio, flagging any allocation issues, whether this be over or under utilisation of resources. An engineer will require a summary of their workload that enables them to be more organised and thus more productive.
Our solution is a Power BI dashboard to visualize resource allocation and Power Automate flows to provide automated email insights with the aim of improved efficiency and more informed decision making. This is our solution data flow.
So in terms of the data we received, there was no real issues in terms of major misspellings or anything, but the main problem we had was that we were using synthetic data. So it was sort of very unrealistic of real world. It was very sort of forced. And another issue was that the relationships that should exist with the data weren't there. The main one obviously being that mentioned there that the project work data wasn't corresponding to the total resource demand data from those projects, which means we couldn't look for insights such as unassigned work on a project, which we might spot and be an error that might need to be fixed. And then in terms of the data cleaning and manipulation we went through, we did most of that in the Power Query section of Power BI to try and keep it all in the same solution. The most powerful thing we did was remove the zero counts, as every single project listed every single resource for every single day with a zero if they weren't working on it, and an actual number if they did. So by removing the zero counts, which was about 99.95% of them, sort of reduced the data size and allowed us to filter people by the project they were working on. As well as that, we created a lot more measures and fields in the report to allow our sort of visualizations to work a bit better. The main ones being utilization, which is sort of work over capacity, and some custom fields are one of the big ones being counting the number of projects people are on. As through this, we discovered at least 38 people who weren't assigned to a project.
The visuals on this page illustrate the duration of active projects, the resources allocated to each project, and the number of overloaded resources on each project at any given time. The visuals can be filtered by resource ID to display the project details of each resource. The table displays the total resource summary, and the visual illustrates the resource demand by month on each project. This can be filtered by group, role, division, area, or affiliation. This visual is a drill down of the total resource summary, illustrating the utilization trends of each resource during a specific time period. This is the resource-specific visual page displaying the percentage of a specific resource on a given day or time period. The resource demand per project is visible, as well as the project capacity. The workers days visual flags all resources with reported capacity but no workloading, which is a sign of underutilization or incorrect data input. The column chart provides the total number of resources with no loading data each day in a given time period.
Through discussions with the challenge owner, it was identified a manual process for identifying overallocated resources and resources with zero allocation was in place. Using Power Automated, we have put in place an automated process for emailing the resource manager with a list of overallocated resources. This is a significantly more efficient process than the current manual process. Data is first exported from Power BI to Excel, where a table is manually created. For the overallocated resources, the Power Automate flow, set to automatically recur monthly, creates an HTML table and formats it. This table is then sent to the resource manager. Power Automated Flow was also created for resources with zero allocation for the upcoming 3 months. And the list of resources with zero allocation is again emailed to the resource manager. Engineers with zero allocation are also individually emailed requesting they discuss the issue with the resource manager. This automated process removes manual intervention, improves efficiency, and also allows actions to be taken to resolve issues more quickly.
In its current form, the solution we've developed does bring significant value, as it sort of makes resource allocation and monitoring a lot more efficient and a lot simpler for the users requiring this. But going forwards, there's a lot more we could do to sort of make this more efficient and add extra features, especially looking at sort of the Power Automate to automate as much as possible and start linking it to other data such as timesheets to get more predictive analysis. An even further step we would look at going forward is sort of trying to get AI to automate the allocation of resources when there's a clash to try and give us sort of proposed solutions, but that would require a lot more significant technology than what we were currently using and what more we could do in the 2 days we had possible.
To ensure action off the back of Insights emails, we would develop further Power Automate flows to determine whether the actions have been completed, and where they have not, trigger reminder emails to prompt action. By rerunning the reports, we can observe the effect of actions and evaluate the impact on the initial issues raised. The work for the hack has been carried out with minimal user input. To develop the solution further, we would use what we have developed as a basis for conversation and hold workshops with different user groups to identify pain points and what worked well to improve user experience. Due to the data source and the data provided, we have been unsuccessful in providing a solution to this user requirement. However, if we have more time and access to the native data in Project Online, AI could be used to effectively redistribute resources in a way that balances coinciding projects rather than disrupting them. Also, if we had the data for pipeline projects as well as our current data, we could forecast in advance potential changes to avoid clashes.